will be countrywide, terming the protest as a third liberation. Tracy Ochengs gives us a background of this historic day.
July 7th, 1990, after about 27 years of independence, marked what would be termed as the second liberation of Kenya at the historic Kamkunji grounds. The fight was against a one-party dictatorship that eventually forced the then-President Moi to repeal Section 2A of the Constitution, making Kenya a multi-party state after more than 20 years. Now let's take a look at how Kenyans have fared 33 years later after the first Saba revolution and their quest for reforms.
This iconic video of Martin Shikuku, James Orengo, Philip Gashoka and Rumba Kinuthia, with hands stretched out into the air, flashing the two-finger V salute, is etched in the minds of some 20 million Kenyans who are alive on the fateful day to mark the struggle for political pluralism in the country. Raila Odinga, Charles Rubia and Kenneth Matiba, who are also part of the multi-party brigade, were arrested on 4th July, just days before the uprising. On this day, pro-democracy demonstrations erupted in different parts of the country, marred with violence, killings and detentions of over 5,000 people. This Saba phrase, in reference to the 7th day of the 7th month, was so powerful that the late President Moi prohibited its use. Tomorrow, the 7th day of the 7th month, Azimio leader Raila Odinga, who was part of the political reforms movement in Kenya, is set to lead the country on a major rally.
Nairobi this Friday, as we had announced. But it is not just a Kamkunji in Nairobi, but a Kamkunji across the country.
Maandamano ikitishwa hata leo hii tutakanyaga kwa sababu uchumi umekuwa mbaya.
Hata serikali na opposition washikane. Penye imefika ni mwananchi mwenyewe sasa atajitolea na kuanzia.
The aim is to force the president to repeal the Finance Bill 2023, which is signed on June 26. Many leaders serving in the ruling government have downplayed the severity of these upcoming protests, even to the extent of proposing bills to limit the right to picket and demonstrate as provided by Article 37 of the Kenyan Constitution, discrediting the cardinal lessons of Saba.
Hawakuelezi hii kuweka sufuria kwa kichwa itasaidia kupunguza gharama ya maisha kwa njia gani?
Kelele muende nyumbani jioni. Lakini mali ya Mkenya hapana, hiyo haiwezekani.
The 33rd Saba anniversary comes at a time of great political apprehension and economic meltdown, failed by partisan talks between the government and the opposition on electoral reforms, compromised independence of the nation's state organs, perennial attacks against the media, and gross defiance of the rule of law. Over the past few years, human rights groups and activists have organized protests every Saba day, pushing for respect for human freedoms and rights, an end to police brutality and extrajudicial killings. Still, the significance of this historic day has dwindled, and with it, the struggle and dark days that Kenya had to go through, forgotten and dishonored by upcoming generations. Have the changes that were fought for through blood and great sacrifice become obsolete? And is Kenya going back to Moism? At the heart of Saba was a fight for political pluralism and not political nationalism, as is now being espoused in Kenya's current political landscape. When we witness legislators jumping political ships every other day, betraying Kenyans and defying the supremacy of the Constitution, it is a slap in the face of the cost that was paid for democracy. It is the kind of politics that is retrogressive and a tragic throwback to the days of Tingiza Kidole.
We are going to build a huge mass movement called UDA, a serious political machine that Assess has said will be around for the next 100 years.
Kenyans have voiced their opinions. Some are for and some are against the protests. Either way, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land and no one can overhaul it. Tracy Ochengs reporting for GBS News.